Coming up, we'll preview the Hall of Fame game versus Lehigh and the matchup versus Tim Kimpton. And senior Leon Tolksdorf joins the discussion reflecting on his basketball career. AU Hoop Talk with Coach Mike Brennan starts right now. And welcome into the show, Dan Laing alongside Coach Brennan. And Coach, tough game the other night up at Bucknell. Of course, you knew as well as the Bison are playing that it was going to be a tough game, but got off to a slow start again, and that's always tough to dig yourself out of.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're playing well, and you know they came right at us, and you know we couldn't score. You know we weren't ready for it. So if you come out sluggish against a team like that, that's what's going to happen.
But you guys did pull back, and you did make it to within 8 in the second half. I mean, I think it was the Army game that they scored 11 to start the game, and then you guys answered with 12 straight. It's not a trend as a coach that you want to see, obviously, with your team digging a hole, but there is some battle in your guys that when they do get down a lot, it's not like, you know, they're
yeah,
still.
No, they definitely don't tank it, and they do battle back for sure. So I mean, we just got to sort of come out with a little more energy each game. But they do battle back. They are getting better. It's just it's tough to sort of see that when you're in the mix like these guys are.
And and injuries. We haven't really talked about that a lot on the show, but injuries have riddled the team. Obviously, if you guys had YY, which you knew coming in you wouldn't have YY, but right. that was a void. Leon going down with his knee injury, that is a void. Lonnie Rivera slowed by an injury, especially at the beginning of the season. Matt Semino missed a few games due to concussion. So, I mean, you have had a lot of injury. I know as a coach, you're not going to use that as an excuse, but that's the truth of it.
Yeah, I mean, it affects every team. Everybody goes through, seasons like that. Jalen's hurt too, but to be honest, it affects practice the most. It's hard to have good practices when you're that depleted. And those guys were giving us something on the court too. So, but hey, everyone goes through it. That's part of college basketball, and you just need the next guy to be ready and step up, and hopefully they're doing what they're supposed to do, whoever it may be. So when they do get their opportunity, they're ready.
And if you're saying that that's affecting practices a lot, well, then that obviously affects the maturation process of the freshmen that you have in and the sophomores and just the young nature of the team that you have as they continue to learn your system.
Yeah. And I mean, it forces you to be creative a little bit too, to be honest. So I've actually liked some of the stuff that we've been forced to do, some breakdowns where you have less, people to deal with, so you're concentrating on the guys that are there, and forces you to sort of work on maybe more specific things in a breakdown scenario. So in that way, it's been good. I mean, obviously, having injuries and stuff like that's never good, but you just got to find a way to continue to improve despite what the situation is. Anything
you want to share with us, or is that locked in the top secret box there of some things that you've been able to work on?
No, I mean just general stuff. It allows you to focus on guys like Gasparini. Just the young guys. They need a lot of attention. Lonnie's playing more now, so he needs a lot of attention. So it just allows you to sort of focus on the guys that actually need it.
Alex Picane, he's been playing well. Played 30 minutes the other night, had a big three with a guy in his face. Talk about how his game has moved along this year in particular.
Yeah, well, Alex is one of our hardest workers. He's always the first guy on the court, every practice, ready to go. So the hard work has paid off for him. And obviously, just talking about the injuries and being ready to go, he's one of these guys that, when he did get his opportunity, he was prepared for it. So he knows what he's doing. He's tough. He makes good decisions. So he's given us very good minutes right now, which we need.
And we talked about Leon Tolksdorf. He's going to join the show as we continue on AU Hoop Talk with Coach Mike Brennan.
In the Patriot League, our playbooks look a little different. Here, we play to win on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. A competitive athletic experience with high academic standards. Today's scholar athlete, tomorrow's leaders. That's the Patriot League.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
Welcome back to AU Hoop Talk with Coach Mike Brennan. We're now joined by senior Leon Tolksdorf. And Leon, thanks for taking some time and stopping by.
Of course.
How's the knee feeling? I know that was a big problem for you, and you said that when you first felt it, you knew immediately it was a pretty major injury.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's feeling much better. I had
good.
surgery last week Thursday, and ever since I've been working with Dash, and he's been doing a great job. Coach Doc Higgins has been doing a great job doing the whole surgery, and Dash has been taking care of me ever since. Around 8 hours a day, probably 2 sessions, each 4 hours, and. In the beginning, especially the first 2 or 3 days, I want to say were the most painful, and but it got better from session to session. I can ride the bike by now. I can walk without crutches, and I think I'm far ahead of where I was 6 years ago when I had the same injury. So yeah, thanks a lot to Dash, and he's been tremendous.
Take us through some of those workouts and how grueling they are, especially at the beginning stages, right after the surgery.
Well, it's all about kind of getting the mobility back, bending, fully extending the knee. Right after surgery, he just put some new Band-Aids on, and then immediately trying to get some movement in my knee. What I'm doing now is basically the same routine. It's a lot of body weight stuff, body weight squats, lunges on the bike, usually for 25 minutes. And then several other exercises that also kind of test my balance. Yeah, and it usually takes, I want to say, around 3 hours. In the beginning, it was more closer to 4 because it was the same exercise, just took me much longer because I was in more pain. And then I ice in the end. And yeah.
How frustrating is that for you? Because this was the year that you were really going to see the increased minutes and be one of the big focals of the team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's obviously really frustrating. As you mentioned, it's my last year. I was playing, and I thought that I was contributing to the overall, team success, if you want. So, yeah, I mean, me coming here, sitting out 1 year, then playing, and now entering my last year. Obviously, it's really frustrating, but I think I have to stay positive. It's the second time for me going through this, so I have to take it even more seriously, if you want, because I know.
You've been through it, so you know what to expect.
I've been through it. I know what to expect,
yeah.
but I also know that now it's the second time. I got to make sure it doesn't happen another time after. But yeah, it's really painful watching us not being able to help on the court, and obviously it's my very last season.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to come after? So.
You mentioned, of course, the sitting out a year after you transferred from UConn. How important was that for you to feeling comfortable with the intricate system that Coach Brennan runs here at AU? The Princeton style, which is much different than what you were used to running at UConn. How helpful was that for you to sit out for a year after transferring to sort of learn the system and really get totally ingrained into it?
I think it was really helpful. Just as you mentioned, there is some new cuts. Just the overall offense is more complex than everything or every coach I've played for in the past. So it was really helpful having that 1 year, being in every single practice, also watching games, knowing what coach is looking for, and watching show, for example. So what I used to do was I was watching the players that were on my position. Especially, I mean, you can't really say that because everyone has to be able to do everything. But especially watching Shove, because he was able to shoot the ball like nobody else at that time, and kind of trying to figure out how he got shots off and kind of what I can try to do similarly. in order to get open shots as well. So that was really helpful. And then, Paris and I, we were in the same boat. So we both played for different coaches, then came here, and it both helped us a lot to have this 1 year before we then started playing.
So in a sense, you're glad you had that year to sit out to learn the system.
Well, I wish I could have played immediately,
Sure,
obviously, but I think I definitely made the best out of the 1 year I was sitting out, for sure. Yeah.
Now, we mentioned, of course, you transferred from UConn. You had a pretty special experience up there at UConn, able to help the Huskies win the national title in 2014. Yeah. Take us through that experience and how cool that was.
Well, it was obviously the biggest accomplishment I've had basketball-wise so far in my career. And apart from all the basketball stuff, it was just a really successful overall environment. And I think all the success that we had didn't just come from what we did on the court, but also what we did off the court. Probably things that you don't really see at first glance. So it was a great experience. I mean, playing with Shabazz, DeAndre, Boatwright, learning from them every single day in practice. And then I was hoping that I could take this experience to this team, and I was hoping to even pass on some more of that experience throughout the season. Unfortunately, that's over now, and I spend more time in the training room than I, watch practice. It was a special time.
What are some of the biggest things that you took from that experience? You said some of the stuff maybe you did off the court in addition to on the court. What are some of the biggest things that you were able to take away from that?
Well, really just the individual hard work is one factor. We were always in the gym. Shabazz was always in the gym, in addition to our practice times that were long already. Just everyone had this focus on basketball, and I think that was probably a little easier to maintain in Storrs, Connecticut than it is here in Washington, D.C. Not that we get distracted here. I mean, we're really busy. Basketball keeps us busy.
But there's a lot more to do here in D.C.
Obviously that, and I think also just the whole environment in Storrs was just, you have Storrs in the middle of nowhere, you have basketball, and you have academics. Those are the two components you focus on. And it's the same thing here, but I think even on another level at UConn. So.
But that brought you to D.C. in the sense that you got to go to the White House.
Yeah, exactly.
That had to have been pretty neat. I mean, regardless of your political leaning, just to walk into the White House has got to be a really interesting, cool feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. That was actually the summer. I was taking summer classes. That was in 2014. Taking summer classes here at AU, my very first class, and I think we went to the White House, I want to say a few weeks before that. So that was really my first time. I just got settled here, kind of moved all my stuff over from Connecticut. And then we got to the White House, and we had a really nice tour. We saw all the facilities, many of the rooms, obviously not everything. We didn't get to see the Oval Office.
I was going to ask.
Yeah. They don't show you everything, but we saw a lot. And then President Obama came, and he was talking to us as a team, and we shook his hand. He gave a speech. It was really a great experience.
You got the meet and greet. You got a picture with him.
The full program. Yeah.
Now, you came to the U.S. from Germany. You were able to play on a lot of the national teams in Germany. Take us through that process of getting here to the U.S. and how important basketball is in Germany.
Well, so I started out playing for many of the national teams, as you said, under 16, under 18, under 20. Before I then came to the States, and I think I had a lot of international experience playing the European Championship, and there's always scouts from all the college teams over there, and a lot of my good friends themselves played college basketball over here in the States. Some of my former coaches have also, so I just got used to the college environment kind of early on, and at some point figured that was the best fit for me, combining both academics and basketball. And I think I fit right in here at AU, especially. There's a lot of international students here, a lot of foreign kids on the team, more foreign kids than at UConn. Yeah.
Anybody in particular, as you grew up, that you liked watching, that you liked either watching at the college level or at the NBA level? Anybody that really stuck out?
Well, obviously Dirk. Coming from Germany, there's really no way around following him. Definitely an idol, and. Got to meet him a few times when I was playing for the national team over the summer. Really nice guy.
Cool. Now you've talked about the academics here at AU, and that's one of the reasons that you came here to American. When you graduate, plans? Do you know yet sort of what you want to focus on and what you want to use that AU education towards?
Well, as of right now, I'm planning on staying in the States. I start working, especially now with my knee. I think my basketball plans are kind of on hold for now. I just want to make sure I fully recover, and then I can see from there. But I love the States. I think there's just so many more things I want to see here, and I had a great time over the past 5 years. So I want to start my career in financial services industry, and I've had a few job interviews now over the past few weeks. So hoping to hear back from those companies soon.
Should be making some big bucks in the financial world.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, Leon. Well, thanks for taking some time. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Leon Tolksdorf right there, the senior on American University's team. When we continue, Coach Brennan rejoins the conversation on AU Hoop Talk.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
One more! Oh, touchdown!
Welcome back to AU Hoop Talk with Coach Mike Brennan. And Coach, we just had a chance to talk with Leon Tolksdorf, and of course, the knee injury for him, a big blow to the team. Just talk about how that has affected the team, in particular Leon's void.
Yeah, well, especially just having a bigger body. I mean, we're small. Other than Gasparini, we're kind of small up front. So Leon was rebounding. He's doing a terrific job of rebounding on the offensive end as well, getting us extra shots. So we definitely miss him, and obviously in practice it's a big blow too.
And having him around in the sense of, just the experience that he has, the international experience, the winning the national title when he was at UConn, going to the White, he brings a lot of intangibles to the table as well.
Absolutely. I mean, being around good programs, you can tell that he's been around good programs, the way he works on a daily basis. And, that's the biggest thing that, he brought to the table was how he approached practice on a daily basis. And that helps the young guys to see guys going, that hard every single day. So to have one less guy doing that takes away from the young guys' development.
Now, we talked about practice and how he approaches practice. He said that one of the things that really helped him was the sitting out a year after transferring from UConn here to be able to pick up the system that you run and some of the intricacies with it. Now, when you look at the roster and the minutes and who you're playing a lot this year, you're throwing a couple freshmen right into it when Saeed and Mark. How has that affected the freshmen? And do you agree that obviously it's better to have a year if you have that luxury to get the guys sort of into the system, since it is a tough system to learn and run?
Yeah, it is, but it's different. Leon said he picked up the intricacies. Yeah. It's one thing to sort of see it, on the bench and understand it, but it's totally different to be on the court and be doing it. So as much as you don't want to be relying on young guys and freshmen to win games and do all the heavy lifting, it's a much different experience actually, not only practicing and going through it, but playing in games. So, as tough of a year as it's been for Mark and Saeed, I mean, the experience that they're getting it's going to pay huge dividends, just hopefully soon, hopefully soon. It definitely will. But, and obviously Leon sitting out, that did help him. He was able to sort of, pick things up without the responsibility and the burden of, having to do it right away.
Hopefully it'll pay dividends coming up on Saturday, the Hall of Fame game against Lehigh, the Mountain Hawks, a 1 p.m. game that you can catch on CSN Plus and on the Patriot League Network. Lehigh, always a tough test, and Tim Kempton, not the easiest matchup. He's been here all of the years that you've been in the league, and you got to go up against him at least one more time. Yeah,
no, I've had him my full of Tim Kempton, but he's a terrific player, and having been in the league for 4 years and watch him grow. Even though he's not on our team, and he killed us last game. It's good to see guys develop and mature, and so makes me think of Gasparini and Saeed. I look back at Tim's freshman year, and he went through some growing pains too. He's effective. He put up numbers, but you can definitely see. Just his maturation and how much he's added to his game this year. He's a handful, so I'm glad this is the last year of seeing him.
What are some of the things that he has added to his game? Anything in particular that really you've seen, move through his game that from freshman to now?
Yeah, obviously, he's added, skill parts to his game. He's able, he makes more threes and that kind of thing. But I think it's just more understanding, just what goes into winning and making plays, making the right plays, knowing when to be selfish, when to be unselfish. So he's just, he's developed into a complete player and a winner.
And then after Lehigh, it's Boston University. The Terriers come in, so not much easier against BU. And Cedric Hankerson and Eric Fanning, two of the better players in the conference this year.
Yeah, no, they can really score. And Cedric, he sitting out the year, I think he sort of values, playing that much more, and you can see in his energy level, offensively and defensively. So. Two of the best scorers in the league, so another tough one.
So tough tests for the Eagles coming up on Saturday against Lehigh at 1 o'clock, and then on Wednesday at home against Boston University. That'll do it for this edition of AU Hoop Talk. For Coach Mike Brennan, for Coach, I'm Dan. Till next time, have a great one, everybody.